national anthems of the United States and of Japan.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you very much. My name is Angela James. I'm with Media Owls, which is a local public relations company, and we've been helping the Japanese Art and Cultural Center to alert the local people and the press and invite everyone we can to today's festivities. And thank you very much for coming. We're very happy to see all of you here. We've got such a wonderful turnout, and I hope you all enjoy what you've seen here. The beautiful rock garden has been under construction for some time, and it has come together beautifully, and we're very happy to have all of you here today to celebrate with us. What we'd like to do first today is I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Omi, who is the director of the Japanese Art and Cultural Center, and he would like to get the festivities started today. Thank you.
Thank you for coming to this ceremony and festivities. It means a lot to all of us. And thank you for your support and cooperation. I'd like to introduce our VIPs and dignitaries, special guests for this ceremony today. First to my right, Mr. John Julius, who is the managing general partner of the Strawberry Park Shopping Center. And to his right is Mr. Thomas Biagini from the Biagini Properties Incorporated. We also have the president of the San Jose Okayama Sister City Organization, Mr. John Gill. Vice President of the San Jose Okayama Sister City Organization, Ms. Kazuko Green. Also Secretary for the San Jose Okayama Sister City Organization, Mr. Bob Green. We have Angela from Media Owls who will be acting as a master of ceremony today. Thank you.
Okay, first what we'd like to do is, I'd like to read you a message from the Consul General Hiroshi Inomata from the Consul General of Japan. A message to all of you, and he was unable to be here but would like to let you all know his thoughts. Dear Chairman Obi, ladies and gentlemen, greetings to all the guests at the Japanese Rock Garden dedication ceremony. Thank you for thinking of me to be a part of your special event as we solemnly remember those whose lives were lost or otherwise impacted by the unprecedented earthquake and tsunami that struck Japan exactly 1 year ago today. I regret being unable to join in person, but am pleased to join you in spirit to dedicate the Japanese Rock Garden to our American friends who responded so quickly and extensively when Japan was facing the most difficult time. Looking back over the past year, we continue to be moved by the compassion, encouragement, and support that people in Northern California have shown for Japan after the disaster. Communities small and large, local and global, came to our aid in a way that we will never forget. Please accept our deepest appreciation for every condolence, every show of support, and every demonstration of our common humanity that has ushered us through these difficult times. Japan's reconstruction and recovery have advanced greatly with your help and friendship, but there is still much work to do in the days ahead. We will continue to keep you updated as our country moves forward. I would like to join you once again to thank our American friends for everything they have done for us. Hiroshi Inomata, the Consul General of Japan. I'd like to introduce my business partner, Jackie Flotton, and she will read a message from Mayor Chuck Reed of San Jose.
Hi, it's a pleasure to be here. And the mayor had wished to come, but he was called away on business, so he wanted this message to be read on his behalf. San Jose has long shared deep cultural and business ties with Japan. Our city has one of the nation's last remaining Japan towns, and many of our residents regularly travel to Japan for both business and to visit family and friends. So we were all deeply troubled by the devastation caused by last year's earthquake and tsunami. While I imagine that parts of Japan are still recovering to this day, I am proud that our community has played a role in aiding the people of Japan. I'd like to thank the Japanese Arts and Cultural Center for their role in constructing this Japanese rock garden here in San Jose. It will serve as a monument to the continuing friendship and bond between the Japanese and American people. San Jose, Mayor Chuck Reed.
The time is 2:46 p.m. Although this is the Pacific time, 2:46 Japan time was exactly when the earthquake took place, the Great Tohoku Earthquake of 2011. Please join us in a moment of silence and think of the victims and their families. Mukto. Thank you very much.
One more message that we'd like to introduce Kazuko and John to read a message from the mayor of Okayama City in Japan, sister city of San Jose.
カズコグリーンバイスプレジデント岡山サノゼシサディスサノゼ岡山シサディス organization. I have original letter Mayor Okayama in Japan in English, no, in Japanese. I read it in Japanese first, and next our President John Hill read it in English, translated by Mayumi Yoshida as our translator. Thank you. サンホセ市のストロベリーショッピングセンターの敷地内に石庭が完成し、この度晴れて完成記念式を迎えられますことを心からお祝い申し上げます。これもひとえに寄付金をお寄せになった皆様のご協力とサンホセ石庭プロジェクト事務局の皆様のご努力の賜物と深く敬意を表します。さて、昨年3月11日に日本で発生し、壮大な被害と犠牲をもたらした東日本大震災から1年が経過しました。皆様の温情あふれるご支援、お見舞いに国対し心よりお礼申し上げます。現在、日本国民が一丸となって復興に力を注いでいるところでございます。このような中、被災地の方々に支援の手を差し伸べてくださったアメリカ国民の皆様に対する日本国民からの感謝の意と友情を表現したこの石庭が建てられたことは大変意義深いことであり、関係の皆様に感謝申し上げる次第です。また、岡山市とサンホセ市とは1957年5月に姉妹都市縁組を結んで以来、幅広い分野において交流を展開しております。2007年には姉妹都市締結50周年を迎え、両市でさまざまな行事を行い、節目の年を祝いました。サンホセ市のケリーパーク内には岡山市の有名な庭園後楽園をモデルとした日本友情庭園がございます。そこには岡山市民からの寄付金をもとに岡山市の建築家が設計を担当し、サンホセ市の方々のご協力のもと完成した神門もあり、今回完成した石庭と合わせサンホセ市民の皆様の憩いの場、そして日米両国の友好のシンボルとして資することを願っています。最後になりますが、岡山市とサンホセ市、ひいては日米両国の友好関係がさらに発展していくとともに、サンホセ市の発展と皆様のご健康、またごをお祈りして挨拶をさせていただきます。平成24年3月5日、岡山市長高谷茂雄。
Here's the English translation done by Professor Yoshida of Mayor Shigeo Takaya's speech that he's asked me to present. I'm honored to have this opportunity to send a congratulating note of the commemorative ceremony to celebrate the completion of the Rock Garden and Strawberry Shopping Center in San Jose. I am truly glad to share this joyous occasion with you. I would like to express my deepest respect for these generous citizens who made donations for the garden and for the members of the Rock Garden Project who worked hard to make this thing happen. Already a year has passed since the devastating Great Eastern Japan earthquake of March 11th. This disaster has brought massive damage and took away thousands of innocent lives. But Japan received help immediately afterward from America. I'd like to thank you for your support and concern for those who were affected. At present, everyone in Japan is working hard together to recover from the disaster as soon as possible. Under such circumstances, completion of the Rock Garden that represents the gratitude and friendship Japanese people feel for the people of America for their concern and support for disaster-stricken Japan means a lot to us. I do not know how to thank enough those who were involved in the project. Ever since our sister city treaty was signed in May of 1957, San Jose and Okayama have been hosting various activities and events to further develop our relationship. In 2007, a number of events were held in San Jose and Okayama to commemorate the 50th year of our sister city relationship. The Friendship Garden in Kelly Park in San Jose is designed after the world-famous Korakuen Japanese garden in Okayama. The gate to this park was designed by an architect who resides in Okayama and was funded by contributions from the residents of San Jose. I am certain that the new rock garden, together with the gate and the friendship garden, will continue to provide a place of peaceful repose and happy gatherings for the residents of San Jose and serve as a symbol of friendship between America and Japan. I would like to emphasize that we will always be praying for the further development of friendly relationship between San Jose and Okayama and between America and Japan. Let us pray for your health and happiness as I conclude my speech. And that's signed Shigeo Takaya, Mayor of Okayama. And if you will, I'd like to make a few comments. I'd like to make a few comments. It sounds a bit corny, and I know it's a worn-out cliche, but the poet John Donne, 400 years ago, said that no man is an island. And I look upon this rock garden, I see little islands. But when you think about this event, when it happened, we were not an island. With electronic media, when the disaster struck, we knew about it immediately around the world. Whereas centuries ago, it may have just been a strange tide on our coast that would have been occurred one day and forgotten the next day. We could see the tremendous impact on our television screens and over the internet of how the lives were affected, the horrific images of whole villages being washed away and homes aflame, and of the power plants and everything that was going on, that we were deeply affected. So we could feel the impact immediately. But this opposite side of the coin is Japan could feel the love and can feel the concern of the world immediately too, because of our connected world. And just to make a comment about what is Sister Cities, it was an organization that was started by President Eisenhower over 56 years ago as a means of addressing at the grassroots level the issues of world peace and of understanding between peoples of different nations, in the hopes by building understanding we would build peace. And this rapid response that America and countries around the world gave to Japan is part of the fruits of efforts like this, of people-to-people relationships in our interconnected world, to see that what affects people in other countries affects us too. And also the wealth and the blessing that we share can be shared with other people. One thing I noticed, the fact that this park exists, it's a thank you from the Japanese people. It's not a commemoration of the disaster, but it's a two-way street that we helped them, they suffered, we helped them, and now they're coming back and saying thank you to us. And this is truly remarkable and a wonderful recommendation to the Japanese character and spirit, because they're always grateful people, they're always friendly people. They've been open and so welcoming to our groups, and exchanges have been there. And we found out we cannot outgive them. So we just so appreciate it. We pray that when you come by here and see this park, that you remember the gratitude, that our relationship is a two-way street. And I pray that the people of Japan would not be forgotten, that we would remember them as they continue to rebuild. And I pray that we would just think about what we can do to help people in times of distress. We may not always get a nice thank you like this, but it's definitely felt. And our hearts are warmed by the wonderful two-way relationship that we've been able to have over 50 years, specifically between San Jose and Okayama, and a greater picture between Japan and the United States all these years. We hope that relationship will get closer and stronger. And thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, John and Kazuko, for that beautiful message. We very much appreciate that. We'd like to now hear from Trustee John Julius, who represents the property owners of Strawberry Shopping Center. He'd like to say a few words to you.
Thank you, Angela. As has been mentioned, I'm here on behalf of the owners of this property. As many of you know who have been coming here for more than a couple months, we recently went through a major renovation of the facility, well needed at the time, and we jumped into it, and I'm very pleased with the result of it. I was also very excited when we were approached by the Japanese Arts and Cultural Center with the possibility of adding a rock garden to this area to thank the American people for assisting the Japanese people after last year's earthquake and tsunami. Being from San Diego, we have a very large military presence in the area. Many, if not most, of my neighbors are in the Navy, in the SEALs, in the Air Force, and it was heartening that even though the nation, the United States, is involved in 2 wars, that the government saw fit to dispatch a substantial contingent from the military. Many of my friends and neighbors were part of that to assist in the relief efforts, and it really was something that kept my interest in what was going on, and I think shows the nature of the relationship between the 2 countries. I am honored to have been asked to be here today. I'm very thankful to help in the dedication of this beautiful rock garden. My property manager, Mr. Biagini, can go into some of the details about how this came to fruition. But I am so pleased with the result of Mr. Ami's vision and his dedication to proceeding with this project. I'm thankful to those who have donated to help and assist in that, and look forward to further donations. I'm sure this is going to be a very tranquil area for people to think about last year's events, think about the future, think about relationships, and to hope for the future. And as I stand here looking at this tree in the springtime, noticing the buds coming out, it reminds me of how the Japanese people have been reborn and will thrive just as this tree will through the years with Mr. Omi's careful oversight. And I look forward to people of the city enjoying this for years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Very nice. We'd also like to hear from Tom Biagini. He handles the property management and the leasing function of the Strawberry Center. And I know he wants to talk a little bit about the actual construction, and so we're looking forward to hearing from him.
Thank you, Angela, for that introduction, and thank you, Aki, for inviting me here this afternoon. I'm Thomas Biagini from Biagini Properties, and I've been the manager and leasing agent here at Strawberry Park since 1980, about 31 years now. It was about 2 years ago that John and I decided the shopping center needed to be upgraded. And our vision was to build on the Japanese flavor, the Japanese theme that we have here. A project of this type is much more complicated than probably any of you can imagine. But I would like to say thank you to the city of San Jose, who very quickly approved our plans in record time. I've never had a project move as rapidly through the planning department as this one did. And that's a credit to San Jose. I also would like to thank the Japanese community here. We have been able to attract additional Japanese merchants here to strengthen the Japanese theme. The Art and Cultural Center in particular is a great addition to our lineup here. We should also recognize the general contractor, Group 1 Construction, who had to do this remodel while the shopping center was open for business. And our merchants who had to endure the disruption that we caused them. Our architect was Wayne Renshaw, and our lending officer was Helen Zhao from Wells Fargo Bank in downtown San Jose. So this truly was a San Jose, a full San Jose community involvement. Lest we forget about our Japanese brothers and sisters across the Pacific, the disaster they suffered a year ago. We stood with them then, we stand with them now, and this Tranquility Garden is a permanent monument to that. When Aki came to me during our project, I very quickly, I didn't skip a minute, Aki, when you told me of your idea, I thought this would be a fine addition, and we quickly approved it, and it's really improved the ambiance of Strawberry Park, and I think it's a source of pride for the Japanese community and the San Jose citizens as well. So thank you again for coming here this afternoon. I hope you'll spend time here at this rock garden, and as well as patronizing our merchants. It's our pleasure to be a part of this gift to our Japanese brothers and sisters. Thank you again very much.
Thank you, Tom, and yes, I do agree. I think you and your crew did a beautiful job, and I'm very impressed, and I hope you do all enjoy it. I'd like to introduce again Mr. Omi. He will give a little bit more information about the more people who were...
I'd like to quickly explain what this garden is really. People might wonder what is this? Why don't we have more plants? Okay. We do have a cherry tree here. We planted this cherry tree to indicate that this garden is a gift of friendship from the Japanese people to the American people, all the people who live in America and in this area. The rock garden itself has a very profound meaning by itself. These rock gardens are typically found in Zen temples in Japan, but they don't have religious significance really. What it really represents is as follows. Okay, those of you who are sitting on the benches along the Tomisushi, okay, you have the front seat. Okay, this garden was designed for you. Okay, that's the front side of this garden. So anybody sitting there, just look at these rocks and how they feel. How they make you feel. Okay. If you look at them as if they are the mountain peaks, okay, over the crowd. Okay, so you're climbing a mountain called life. And sometimes you stop and look around, you see the scenery. Well, the climbing is a hard thing to do, and so is life. So when you stop and look around, so there's a beautiful scenery all around you. So look at the other mountain peaks. The top of the mountain peaks, up over the cloud coverage. You see 5 mountain peaks in front of you. And do you see there is a valley, deep valley between the mountain peaks, just like those in Yosemite or Grand Canyon. And there are a number of rivers flowing through the gap, and those rivers are coming toward you, and those rivers are bringing you the energy that you need to keep going on your journey called life. And each of these rocks, the mountain peaks, represent the legendary Chinese temples, the 5 legendary great Chinese temples, Zen temples in ancient China. I don't know if they really existed, but that's what they symbolize. And all the energy from thousands of people who meditated in those temples and trained and developed themselves are cheering you. Hey, let's keep going. We are with you. So that's what it is. And you keep climbing a mountain, wherever your destination might be. But when you get tired, sometimes you just sit down, take a break, and look around, and hopefully this garden will give you the energy and the strength to keep going. That's what this is all about. So now, with permission from Mr. Julius and Mr. Biagini, I'd like to dedicate this garden to the victims and the families of the earthquake. But at the same time, I would like to hand over this project officially to Mr. Biagini and Mr. Julius as a token of friendship from the Japanese people.
Thank you, sir.
These two gentlemen are the people who really made this happen. And without their permission, approval, and continuing support, especially Mr. Tom Biagini provided us with all the support we needed. We encountered all kinds of difficulties, problems, but he was with me the full time. And he was a great help every step of the way. And he's the greatest property manager I ever encountered in my life. And we are so lucky to have him manage this property. So if you're looking for a retail space, Biagini I'd like to owner of Rock Garden, Mr. Gary Masamori, who could not be with us today because of the family commitment, but I'd like to thank him. And also Mr. Ivan Ayala, who is the A&E concrete design in San Jose, who actually did the concrete work and constructed this beautiful rock garden. And he did a wonderful job for us. I'd also like to thank Mr. Goro Haruta. Mr. Goro was here a few moments ago. I think he just left now. And his brother, Mr. Keiji Haruta, who was a consultant to us on this rock garden. Mr. Keiji Haruta's wife passed away during the construction of this rock garden. So we decided to name this cherry tree, which Mr. Haruta handpicked. This cherry tree is called the Mount Fuji. This one is really hard to find. It's not just anywhere. He actually had to order a special order from Southern California because this is very special kind. And we decided to name this tree after his late wife, who came here with him from Hiroshima 50 years ago and supported him in his landscape business all this time. So this tree is officially now named Yachio no Sakura, the cherry tree of Yachio. Yachio being Mr. Haruta's late wife. I also like to thank Mr. Jun Shinagawa, Mr. Kei Noguchi, Ms. Chieko Nishino, Junko Tanabe, Kazumi Nozawa, Mr. Kelvin John, all the volunteers who supported me and made this project possible. Without your generous help and contributions, this would have never been possible. And thank you, all the volunteers. I'd like to quickly run down the list of donors. Please do honor them and thank them for their contributions. Akihiro Ogi, myself, donated. Jun and Keiko Shinagawa, Masa Kumikawa, Seiji Chieko Nishino, Yuichi Nakamura, Chiyomi Nakamura, Takeshi Nakamura, Yoriko Nakamura, Emily Haratani, Edi Haratani, Edwin Haratani, Miki Haratani, 都市高ブルー友久森はい貴殿南新一郎勝山由井勝山直子勝山咲子河野剛平淳中井圭一川名広信石川和美石川七石川サラハイディ寺籠テクダイヤインク信号小山ジョン水谷ケン夏木ガード吉子福井吉尾育子本田安光山本浩二正子大塚吉江ボラス正志由美田山慶吾原冬見吉野ゴードンクリスティーナ笹森ブライアンエミコ伊藤マークマユミティアパー高子庭アグロサンノゼ岡山シスターシティオーガナイゼーション綾子長岡正明東谷ロナルド・ニーラン紀ノ国屋ブックストア司若林アーダン・ナオミ長橋愛藤時山田花レサイチュアクレメント・レサイチュアユイ・レサイチュア陽子川島慶子中島安尾岸本陽子新谷友子新谷春川添明美川添亮川添健川添勝篠原正彦伊藤和夫奥村熊下西エイミー山崎 J&K モントレ吉明アジャリクローバーベーカリー&キャフェエントピアベンチャーズインクローオフィスオブ吉戸山本ビッキー山崎シルビー山崎リアン・リュウ・ライスマサト・タツ松尾ユキコ・関口ステファン・スカーク J. カステラーノサーシャ・リドビアジニ・プロパティーズ・インクストロベリー・パーク・ショッピング・センター and Kyoko Omi. Kyoko Omi is my mother. All these donors contributed in the grand total of $26,000. The cost of construction was actually $32,000, so we are $6,000 short. So we are hoping that we can receive just a little more contributions, donations. So if you know anybody, please help us. Well, you can help yourself if you can. Thank you very much once again for being here and honoring the completion, and honoring the memories of the victims as well. And I just hope this book garden will heal many people's wounded hearts after the disaster. And this will be a beautiful place to be when somebody feels down, tired, or even with children, sometimes difficult to raise children. But this will be a great place for children to come and play, parents to take a brief moment of rest. And thank you very much.
This does conclude our ceremony today, but I want to thank you all for coming here and taking time out of your day to enjoy this with us.